Hi everyone. Hello, welcome in. Hope you're all doing okay today. Obviously, it's Friday, which is great news. Now, we are just going to give it just a couple of moments. I can see people rolling in. Just want to let everyone get into the session today. So just use this time, get some water down you, hydrate yourselves, get yourselves ready, and then we will get going. Hopefully the weather is treating you well. Luckily here in the UK, we've actually got a bit of sunshine, which is great. It was quite grey and wet yesterday. So a little bit of sunshine goes a long way. Okay, welcome everyone. Good to see you all. Okay, right, let's get going then. We are just going to start with a little bit of education, bit of a reflection, just as we have done on the other 2 weeks that we've done already. So today is all about focusing on the knees. Saying that, as always, we are going to do a full body flow, just to make sure that we're hitting all those body parts, making sure we're feeling good, overall. But yeah, we are going to have a little bit more of a focus on the knees. So just take a moment to think about how you find your own knees. Sometimes when I have one-to-one coach consults with people, people do quite often experience some sort of pain or discomfort in the knees. And what I also find is that people are very hesitant of doing movements where they do feel their knees hurt a little bit. Now, of course, we need to find the balance of not causing lots of pain, but also our body is so resilient. And what we want to be focusing on is building up the mobility and the strength that we've got. So to some extent, it is a little bit of a case of working through a little bit of discomfort. So then we can put a little bit of pressure on the knees, okay, give them a reason to become stronger and a little bit more resilient overall. So just take a couple of moments, just sort of thinking about whether there are any movements that you do in your day-to-day life, or whether it's in the gym or whether it's running, anything that you do where you do feel your knees maybe twinging a little bit, okay? So let's get going with today. We're going to be focusing on stretching all of the muscles in our lower body, and then also work on a little bit of strengthening in the legs, and then also focusing on that stability as well. So let's get going. Find your space. If you've got a fit watch, make sure you get something like a yoga workout on, anything that's quite similar to that. So obviously it's not high intensity. Amazing. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to start with some breathing, as we always do, just to get ourselves settled into the session, feeling good and focused. But we are going to add in a knee bend, okay? So we're going to bend through the knees, breathe in through our nose, hold the breath at the top, and then exhale through the mouth. Again, slightly bigger bend, breathing in, hold it in at the top, and exhale. Let's go 2 more, slightly lower. Really reaching up to the ceiling, stretching that body out. Exhale. Last one, let's see how low we can get. Big bend, holding it in, last hold here. And exhale. Lovely stuff, well done. Okay, now, first of all, we're just going to give our ankles a bit of a stretch, because that is actually going to help us with our leg-based exercise in just a moment. So we're going to take one leg behind us, making sure that our back foot is really nice and straight, okay? And then you're just going to lean your body weight forwards, aiming to press that back heel down into the floor. Okay, so hopefully you can feel that stretch in the calf, the Achilles, maybe around your ankle a little bit. And that's exactly what we want. Because what we're going to do in a moment are some squats. But to do a nice squat, we also need some mobility from our ankles. So that's why we're going to give them a little bit of a stretch first. And then let's change sides. So taking that step back, nice straight foot on that back foot. And then leaning forwards, trying to keep our foot flat on the floor. And if you're not really feeling it, if your foot is flat on the floor, but you don't really feel it, what you can do is just shimmy that front leg forwards, so then you can lean a little bit further and deeper into the stretch here. Good, just 5 more seconds. If you can press a little bit further into that stretch, keeping that back leg straight. Good, and change. We're going to do 1 more each way. This time, we're actually going to bend the back leg. So we've got 2 main muscles that we want to stretch here. And by bending our knee, we're going to stretch a slightly different part of our calf, okay? So back leg still behind you, nice straight foot still. But then we're actually going to go into that stretch by bending our knee, okay? So that knee is still coming over the foot, but you might just feel it a little bit different compared to how we did it a moment ago with this back leg straight, okay? So just try and see if you can notice how it's feeling a little bit different. Obviously, the more you sort of bend down and have that knee traveling over that foot, the more you're going to feel it. So just find that balance. Good, and then changing legs, last one here. So straight foot, bending that back leg. You should feel that stretch kick in there. And to make sure that our back foot is still staying flat on the floor, okay? We're not lifting the heel up. We want nice flat feet because that's what we want in our squat as well. Okay, and relax everyone, well done. Okay, next up, so going into our squats. I take my feet a little bit wider than my hips. Naturally, you'll probably put your feet where you feel strongest, okay? So don't worry if your stance is a bit different to mine. From there, we are going to break at the hips. We're going to bend down and just simply go as low as we can. Now, as we work through these reps, there are a couple of things we want to work on. So first thing, as we've just done, trying to keep those feet flat on the floor as we get lower, okay? So you'll find as your knees travel over your toes, you might feel that stretch again in the ankles. Okay, so trying to keep those feet flat on the floor, keeping that chest up as much as we can, and then trying to aim to get so our legs are parallel to the floor. Having said that, if you can't go that low, that's okay. It's definitely better to focus on those other points of form that we've just gone through and just working in a smaller range of movements. And then as it becomes easier, then you can start to get a little bit lower. Good stuff though. Let's go for 3 more. Pushing ourselves a tiny bit lower, keeping those legs super strong. Keep breathing in through your nose. Our muscles need lots of oxygen to work, so get that air in. Good, and relax. Okay, doing well. Next up, we're going to stand on one leg. The leg that we're standing on, we want to have a soft bend in the knee, but then the rest of the movement is actually coming through our hips. So it's a hinging movement through the hips. So what we're going to do, we're going to lower our chest down and at the same time, lift the back leg up. Okay, now do just rest a couple of fingers on a wall or a chair if you need some support with your balance. But what we're trying to do is create a seesaw action with our chest and our leg. Okay, so we're not lowering the chest down and then trying to lift the leg up. We're trying to think we're a plank of wood and we stay in that straight line. Okay, so hopefully you can see we're hinging and moving through the hip. So we're going to be working on that ankle stability, knee stability, and then also working on our core where we've got this balancing element. So lots going on. So take your time with it. Don't worry if it's a little bit tricky. Let's go one more. Good. Okay, over to the other side. Find that balance. Nice soft bend in the knee. Plank of wood. Let's lower that chest down. Lifting the back leg up. Trying as much as possible to balance on your own. Okay, so just having something nearby just to keep you balanced if you do need it. And what I also try and think about is drawing a straight line with my eyes as I go up and down. So then that keeps my head also in a nice neutral position to my body. Let's go two more. You might feel the hamstrings stretching as well as you come a little bit lower. So that's great. Really stretching out those hamstrings, getting rid of that tightness. Lovely. Okay, shake those legs out. Right, next up, we've got open the gate. So still working on that balancing. We're going to lift one knee up to our chest. We're then going to travel that knee out to the side and then control it down. Staying on that same leg to start with, we're going to go for 5 and then we'll change over. Trying to gently pull the shoulders back, but in a really relaxed way, okay? Roll them back, let them relax. You can sort of just rest your hands on your core, feel it nice and tight as we focus on that balance. And we're trying to keep the body still, okay? So we're not twisting through the hips or the body as we take that leg out to the side. We're really trying to do that through our hips. Good, okay, over to the other leg, here we go. Squeezing up first, keeping it high as we circle it. And again, we're going to go for 5. Hopefully just feeling those reps, getting a little bit easier, a bit looser through the hip. Good, let's go last one. Lovely, good. Okay, next up, we're going to take our feet nice and wide here. Now we're going to do a lateral lunge, okay? So we're going to be loading our knees in different ways. So by going to the side, that's going to be a little bit different to our squat that we did at the beginning, which is good. So we're going to bend to one side. You can bring the hands to the thigh, but try not to push on the leg too much, okay? It's almost just there, just to prop you up, just to put your hands somewhere out the way. Coming back up nice and tall, over to the other side. Okay, and then also we want to keep that foot flat on the floor again, especially as that knee travels over the toes. Trying to make sure as we go down, that knee isn't collapsing in, so we're pushing it outwards, nice and strong through the hips and the glutes. Okay, and if you want to make it a bit harder, shimmy those feet out a little bit wider, so then you can actually go a little bit lower down into that lunge. I'm getting a few nice little clicks in the hips and knees. So don't worry if you've got some of that going on. It's just good to get the body moving. Let's go one more each way, nice and low. Really challenging yourself here. Good, okay, shimmy those feet back in. And then we're going to work on the upper body. So breaking at the hips, nice straight back, okay, squeezing that core to hold ourselves in this position. And then we're going to lift the arms forwards into a wide position. Okay, breathing in as you lift up and then exhaling as you come down. So keep that nice flow with the breath. So as you come up, really squeeze in the back of your shoulders. It can be quite challenging lifting up into this overhead position. So don't worry if your arms aren't coming up too high. As long as you're feeling that squeeze in the shoulders, then you're doing it just fine. Let's go for 3 more. Keep that flow of the breath, breathing in through the nose on the way up Big squeeze at the top, breathing out the way down. Last one. Good, okay. Right, next up, coming back to the knees. We're going to lift one leg up, and we're just going to circle that leg, okay? Trying to keep from our hip to the knee relatively still, okay? Then there will be a little bit of movement through the hip, but just trying to get that leg circling from the knee down. And then what you can do is start to extend that circle out, so squeezing that leg out a little bit straighter. So we're squeezing through the quads, squeezing it super straight and then bending it in. Let's go to the other side. We're also squeezing up nice and strong through the hip to keep that leg up. Obviously adding in a little bit of movement with the leg can make it a little bit harder balancing wise, but that's okay. Really focus. And then starting to extend that leg out a little bit straighter, squeezing that quad, keeping that hip strong. 2 more. Last one. And relax. Well done. Take a moment. Let's breathe in through the nose. And exhale slowly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. Carrying on. We're doing so well here. We're going to go down onto our knee. Okay. And then what we're going to try and do, again, you can kind of just rest the hand on a wall or something if you need that. We're going to try and grab our back leg. Okay. And trying to pull that foot up to our bottom. Now that can be quite a tricky stretch. So if you want, you can take it into a standing position. Exactly the same thing, okay? Just pulling that foot up, finding that stretch in the quad. So choose whichever one is best for you. There's no right or wrong. It's just finding what works for you in this moment. Now, whether you're standing or on your knee, try and think about tucking those hips underneath a little bit. So what you can do to kind of connect with that movement is think about sticking the bottom out, arching through the lower back. So then we can think of the complete opposite way. So what we're going to do, tuck those hips under. And as you do that, you should hopefully just feel that stretch in the quad a little bit more. Okay, so holding it there. Just breathing gently through our nose here. Just enjoying a nice static hold. Not too much to think about. Just relaxing into it. Good. Okay, changing sides. Here we go. Let's see how this leg feels. Again, you've got your option of standing up. So do what works for you. Think about tucking those hips under. Finding that stretch, not pushing it too far. Just a gentle stretch is fine. And then as you feel that stretch ease, maybe after 10 seconds or so, then you can go a little bit deeper with the stretch, okay? So whether that's pulling the foot up closer, whether it's trying to tuck the hips under a little bit further, okay? Good. Okay, and relax everyone. Good stuff. Right, coming onto our hands and knees here into our tabletop. We're going to lower our belly down to the floor, lifting that chin up. Get a nice arch in the back. Time to get our back moving now, just a little bit. And then taking a deep breath in through your nose here. As you exhale, round that back up the other way. Squeezing your hips underneath you. Pushing away through the shoulders. Bringing your chin a little bit closer to your chest. Really squeezing up through your core to lift that back up to the ceiling. Good. And then as we lower the tummy back down, let's take a deep breath in. Lift that chin up. We're going to do one more hold each way. Keep breathing gently as we hold it. Good. So deep breath in here. As we exhale, round it up. squeezing those hips under, squeezing through the core, round that back as much as you can. Okay, back to neutral. Let's give those wrists a good old stretch. So we're just going to gently fold them with our hands, okay? Nice and gentle here. And then over to the other side. Good. Okay, and shake them out. We're going to come forwards with the hands again. And then we're going to slowly lower our hips down to the floor, okay? Take your time here. And then depending how you find this stretch, you can make it a little bit easier or harder. So if you want to make it easier, just take those hands forwards a little bit, or you can go down onto your elbows as well. And then if you want to make it harder, bring those hands nice and close in towards your hips. And then thinking about just pressing through your arms, lifting that chest up a little bit further. And then wherever you are, whether you're on your elbows or on your hands, think about pressing shoulders into the body. So sitting up nice and tall here, super strong through the shoulders, looking straight ahead, breathing in through your nose. Just enjoying the nice stretch in that lower back. And then, just to add a little something into the mix, we're going to work on our hamstrings. So you might want to just shimmy the hands forwards a little bit to do this, but see how you find it. We're going to bend through our knees, lifting our feet up and then down again. Okay, so as you come to the top, really squeeze through those hamstrings. Okay, feel that squeeze before you come down. So yes, it is just a knee bend, but it's very much down to you about focusing, squeezing nice and hard at the top to get those muscles working. Okay, still sitting up nice and tall through the shoulders. Let's go for 3 more bends. Squeeze super hard here. Feel them working. We've got 2 more. Good, and last one. Lovely, good stuff. Right, lowering our chest down to the floor. Take your time. Sometimes coming out of it, you do feel it a little bit, but that's okay. And then we're going to roll onto our back. And then we're going to do a reverse crunch. So we're going to have our arms by the side of our body. We're going to lift up into a 90-degree position. Okay, pushing our back down to the floor. So we do have a natural curve in our back, which is fine. But we want to push our back down to the floor, and straight away, you should feel your tummy just tighten up a little bit there. And then from here, we're going to lower our legs down to the floor, moving through the hips. Okay, so once we're in that 90-degree position, we don't want to move the knees. We're moving through the hips. Now, as you come lower, you might find that lower back comes off the floor a little bit. So really think about pressing it down. If you're still struggling to press it down, just don't go quite as low. Okay, so go as low as you can while keeping that back pressed down, and then you can come back up to the top. The other way you can make it easier is actually decreasing that 90 degrees at the knees. Okay, so just fully bend those legs in and then go for it. Okay, so do what works for you as always. Okay. Good. Let's go for 5 more reps. Breathing in as we lower the legs down. Breathing out as we bring them back up. We've got 3 more. Let's make them the best reps we've done. Keep that breath going. And last one. Good. Okay, last movement here. Popping those feet onto the floor. We're going to lift our hips up. So we're squeezing through the hamstrings and the glutes here. Okay, and then from here, what we're going to do is walk those feet out, really small steps, as far as you can. If you can go to straight legs while keeping your bottom off the floor, then that's great. If you can only get sort of halfway, that's fine. So once you've gone out, you're then going to do lots of little steps to come back in. If you need to come down and then lift up again, that's fine. Or you can just keep walking in and out. So squeezing through those glutes and hamstrings, keep those hips high. Okay, the further you go out into straight legs, the more you'll feel it in the hamstrings. So you're sort of digging those heels into the ground as you walk out. Okay, keeping that core strong as well. It's a really good one for the core. Let's go for one more. Squeezing up high. Come on, super strong here. Good. Bring those feet back in. Lower down. And then rock yourself up. Take your time here. No need to rush. Just let your head come back to earth. And then we're going to stand up to finish for a little bit of breathing, just to slow ourselves down a bit after getting our heart rate up. So what we're going to do, we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold at the top for 4. And then we're going to exhale through our mouth for 4. And then hold the breath out again for 4. We're going to do that all 3 times. Okay, so last little bit here. Really enjoy it. Here we go. Ready? In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Last one. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold 2, 3, 4. Well done, everyone. That is us done for today. So thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully those legs feeling a little bit looser. We did a little bit of strength stuff for our legs and our knees in general. So hope you're feeling amazing. We've got 1 more week left of this series. But just to let you know that this core and flexibility flow class is a regular class that I actually take, which is on a Monday and a Thursday at, it will be, so it's 3 p.m. BST time, so 2 p.m. GMT. I always get confused with the time zones, but I will just pop that in an email for you. I'll send you all a follow-up email. And then we've also got a new class starting in August as well, which is very much focused on mobility as well. So I'll pop lots of details into your email. So yeah, hopefully we can carry on this journey of working on strength and mobility and core work. Okay, but thank you again for joining me. Good to see you. You're welcome, Joyce. Thank you for coming, and hopefully I'll see you again next week on the Friday, or for the normal core and flexibility flow class. Okay, but have a good day, everyone. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend, and take care.